Hello everyone. Welcome to Patrik Barfi show. Today we're going to talk about the topic of the week, which is investing. Um, I know most people are excited about today because I was getting emails about when are we talking and text messages about when are we talking about investing. And today is the day, right? And I'm so excited too because at this point in our financial journey, we are at a point where this is step 4 of our financial journey, and we're going to do right. We are free. So, if you are following the steps at this point, this means we've taken control of our finances by doing our budget, and when we did our budget, we were able to at least uh, control our money, and we have margin, right? Whereby we use that margin to be by carrying some stuff, focusing on our needs alone, leaving the wants, because the needs is what we need to be able to survive, which is our 4 walls. So now we were able to have money and also putting that money towards our debt, right? And we did also brought in more money by putting in extra overtime or by doing side hustle. And that gave us a little bit about 500 to put on our debt. And if you remember, within 24 hours, we were able to pay off our debt. You see, that's what that's what happens when you start doing budget. You get margin. And what does margin gives you? It gives you options, right? And what does options gives you? It gives you freedom. And what does freedom gives you? It gives you freedom gives you peace. And what does peace gives you? Peace gives you joy. So at this point, you have the freedom. So paying using 24 months to pay off our debt. Now that gave us more money because at that point we owe nobody anything, right? If you have home, the only thing that we owe was our home. But if we had no home, we are completely debt free at this point. And what happens when you are debt free? You free up your most powerful world building tool, which is what? Our income. By far, our income is the most world building tool, period. Now we have all. And after doing that, remember, we had extra, after paying everything, we had extra 3 grand left after everything because we had no student loan, we had nothing. All the money that were used to pay, were paying those amount were freed up. So that gave us what? 6 months. Yes, 6 months. We were able to save an emergency fund for what? Of 18,000. And that money is now in what? In money market account. That money was for protection. It wasn't for investing. It was just for protection. But these days, because of the situation, whatever is going on now money market account is yielding more. So, we put in a place where we can earn a little bit. But that wasn't the situation for it. But what it is now we can earn more because of interest rate being high, or money markets are also high. That was the only reason why we get it. But if it wasn't high, that is fine. That money was just for protection. It wasn't for investing. All right. So we still have that freedom. Remember, the margin gave us what? Option gave us what? Freedom. So now we're going to invest. And also, if we do not have a home, after investing, we're going to put something down, start saving for our down payment for home. If you have home, we skip that part. Now we're going to put money for the kids, for their college fund. And if we have home already, after all life expenses, investing and everything, now we start putting money on our mortgage, extra money. And guess what happens? People that go through this process within a period of 7 to 9 years, their home is paid off with a lot of money, also in investment. So at this point, I am so excited because everything is going as planned in our financial freedom steps. So now we're going to invest. So how do we do that? By starting, what it is we're going to start putting 15 to 20% of our income away. All right. So let's look at it this way. A medium household income as of today is 75,000. I'm talking of a medium household income. So a whole family, couple, and husband and a wife. So let's say you guys are making 75,000. You're going to put 15% away. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to check it and see how much 15% of that amount is. 15% of that amount is going to be, let me see, 15% of 7,000. I believe it was 7,145, I believe. And that is going to give us 11,271.75. That is what we're putting away per month. That is what we're going to put away per month. So let's divide that. Let's go down to what we're going to do per month. Oh, sorry, that's for the whole year. So per month is going to be 940 a month. Remember, at this point, we have all the freedom because we owe nobody anything. Our cars are paid, our student loans are paid, our credit cards are paid, all our small loans are paid. So now we have the freedom to move things around. And this is how we're going to start building wealth. And I know somebody might be and say, hey, I'm already 40. I don't know what to do. And, how come I put in and all that? If you calculate everything and at this point, we are being intentional. And if you are very intentional, you can still come up with over $1 million cash, not your whole net worth, just cash. If you are intentional, and even if you start saving, what I'm going to go through. So let me start sharing our screen and we can start going from there, right? We can start going from what we can do. So let me see. Hold on for a second here for me and let's do this. So at this point, yes. So let's do this, right? At this point, like I said, this is just compounding or investment calculator. This is nothing strange or anything. You can get it anywhere, right? And what it is at this point is, like I said, I'm so happy because this is where compounding interest is so important. Remember Einstein said compounding interest is what? It is the eighth wonder of what? The eighth wonder of the world. People that understands it make it. People that don't, you pay for it. All Einstein was trying to say is if you understand compounding interest, you always gain or get that interest. But if you don't, like if you always owe me, you are paying. So everything that we're going to do here, if you owe, that means you giving that money away. It's the other way around. But at this point, we've taken care of that. And this is where we are. So let's go and start doing this. So let me see here. I just want to make it bigger. So when we get to this point, we are paying. Let's say we are 40 years. We are 40 years, right? All right. Let me go ahead and say this first. When it comes to investing, there are three things that are very, very key. One is the money. You need the money to save. And two is the discipline. So you have to be very consistent and take your hands off that money. And three is time. It's time. The time is so important. I'm going to go through it and I'll show you why the time is so important, right? So let's start with this. Let's say we are 40, making a medium household income. We calculate that. So now we put in 15%. You can do 15 to 20. But let's take it, say we're doing 15. Everyone that was born 1960 up, our retirement age is 67. So this person born in 40 years, their retirement age is going to be 67. So now let's say we have nothing safe at this point. Now we're going to start. So how much are we putting down? 0. We don't have anything. And how much are we contributing a month? It's 940. And what percentage? We know for the past 100 years, the stock exchange has been averaging 10%. I know some people will be like, oh, no, it is. What it is just 2 years, it's on average. So that means some years it goes up, it's come down. And when you do the average, it's about 9 point something, it's almost 10%. Even some mutual funds that are perform the S&P 500, some do like 12 and all that. But we're going to go just very consecutive way and all that. So we're going to do the things that, let's say, is going to match up with the S&P 500. And when we do that, that is 10% for the past year. And let's see what we get. So if you're going to do this for the next, let's say 27 years, this is how much you're going to make, right? Because like I said, some years it goes up, some years it's come down. But on average, it's 10%. Let's make an example. Just 2021, it was up 24%. Just 2020, it was up 21%, 24%. Just 21, it was up about, I think, between 18 and 16. And guess what? That means we were, it was doing good. But 2022, we were down. We're in a bear market. Bear market, that means it's coming down. It's gone down probably like maybe 20%. And that was, I think, was down 18%, between 20 and 18%. But as I'm talking right now, it was already 14. I see that it's coming up again. So that means whatever we lost, we already coming in there. They were expecting more than that by the end of the year. So yes, some years it goes down, but on average, 80% of the time, the stock market is up. I know when you start looking at it, it goes up and up, down. So, you get scared. If this time we are in for a long haul, like 27 years, so don't worry about it. It depends on what you buy, and I'm gonna go over that too. So if we are 40 years and we start doing this is how much we make. I want you to see this. Look at the arrow. Look at how much you put in. You put in throughout the 27 years. You put in 304. But look at the growth. 1.242 you did not put in. So this is how the growth is. This is what Einstein was saying. Compounding interest, the eighth wonder of the world. If you understand it, you make it. So let's say you're doing the same to a credit card on the opposite way, or loans. You, instead of earning this, you giving it to them. I understand some people think, oh, yeah, I do this and all that, trying to be smart and all that. You are going the opposite way. So instead of you making this, you are giving it to the banks, the financial institutions, and this is something you don't want to do. You want to gain this instead. So look at it again, right? And now let me show you something. The reason why I said it is so key for the time. If the same person, right, wait for another 10 years and start investing, let's see how much that person makes. 500. 10 years, and he's already losing $1 million. Let's go back again and see, but yes, if you say, hey, I'm 50 years and all that, you still make $500, 500,000. And I know some people think this, that money, the retirement money, the 401k money and all that, all we do is we just, take the whole money. No, you live off that money. Remember, we just said it's what? every year it gives you 10% at least. When you put inflation and everything in, inflation usually is about 4%. Just that this few years, because of whatever happened, that is, it just skyrocketed. But it's always around about 4%. So if you have let's go back. If you have 1.4, 1.5 in there, let's say you have 1.5 in there by the time you retire, and this gives you 10%. That means you're 150 a year you're making of this. So this money is probably for your, grandkids, and you can live off this for so many years. 150. Probably you weren't even making 150 because the average income you were making was about, that we used to calculate this was about 73 for both of you. See, now this is what you're going to do. And if you put inflation, let's say you put inflation 4% back in, you probably still take about maybe 90 or 100 whole and put the rest back in for it to go. And guess what happens? The little ones that you put in is also going to increase it. So as you still live and still living off this, it's still going to go up. All right. I'm 50. What can I do? There's no hope. No, we just did it. If you do 50 years, I believe you have to put more 50 years. But even if you put the same amount in there, guess what happens? 500,000. And all this, we are not putting in even the match. If you're working and getting a match at work, I haven't come to that. We'll talk about that later on. But that is not even there. You see, this is the reason why I was saying we have been lied to, that go get credit cards, go get this, all that. And if you have all that, you can't do this. Sometimes you hear people, they are doing all these things together. They have credit cards, they have so many loans to them and all that, and also starting investing also. So they can't put more in there, put $50 in there. Yes, you are investing, but it's not making much. People think they are so smart, they can beat the financial institution and all that. Man, they get the best of the best. So don't think you can beat them. They will beat you before you beat them. They will beat you before you beat them. So make sure, you stay simple. There are some people too, they think investing got to be complicated before it's good. No, it's just simple. This is boring. Just let it sit, put it in, and you have to do this every month. That's what I was saying. The discipline part, it has to be every month. And if you keep on, there's some people, they use their retirement account like ATM. Anytime anything happens, then they go back and forth. And the bad part is, if you put in money in your retirement and you're not 59 and a half, and you take that money out, you get hit, especially if it's 401k, you get hit with penalty and the taxes. Remember, this is tax deferred. The reason why we're going to the retirement first is, at this point, we're taking advantage of all the taxes that we can. Because if we making 78, let's say 75,000 as a medium host as we use, and we put in about 11,000, almost 11,300 away, that means we will not be taxed off the 75,000. We will be taxed off about 64,000. That means we're gaining more taxes over there because the tax has been deferred. We are not using it now. It's going to be used when we retire. Good. So this is what is going to happen. So let me go back and talk about the time too. You see, like I said, even if you're 60 years, let's even do 60 years. Even if you do 60 years, you still have something. I always tell my client, even 60 years, look, and I believe if you have 60 years, you have to go a little bit further than that. Instead of retiring, you have nothing at the age of 60. You can't retire at 67. You have to go at least about 70 or 72. So let's say even if you do 70, and that helps you on the other side too, because if you wait till 70 before you start collecting your retirement as Social Security, you get about 8% up. So instead of you making about $1,000, you probably might make about 1,024, 1,240, or 1,280. So it can help you on the other side too. If you're healthy and everything, I believe you should go more. So even if 60, you still make almost about 200. And look at this. Average Social Security is about 1,006, which is below the poverty line. So you're making 1,006 and also making about 10% of this, that can help you bring it together. So sitting down and saying, oh, it's too late. No, It's never late until you say so. It's never late until you say so, right? But let me say this. It's never late until you say so. In every aspect, successful, you have to be successful and all that, yes. But for the money thing, if you started early, it makes a big difference. So let's say somebody that starts saving, doing this in their 20s, let's say 25, and not even at the 25, retiring at 67, and the crowd might not have that amount that we're talking about. Let's even put about 500. Let's say they start from 500. See? So they say they start from, right from college, or right when they start in life and all that. And they start from, they start putting 500 every month. Look at how much they get after 65. So they spend all their money. They just put 500 every month. And remember, you have to keep your hands off that money. You have to let it grow. Look at this again. Look, when you look at this, look at the arrow, where I put the arrow, how much they put in. They put it 220, 252. Guess what? The person that started at the age of 30 put in what? They put in 304, and still didn't catch this person. This guy put in what? 252, and still did not catch this person. The same way, you have two people that start from 19, or let's say they start from 18, started saving and putting in 2,000 a month, 2,000 a year for probably 8 years, which is about 16,000. When they put that in from 16, and they said, now it is, I'm not saving again, from 16 all the way, which is 16,000. From that time all the way to the 67, they probably make about 1.8 or so. And guess what? Somebody started from 28 all the way till 67. This one started from 28, 18 to 20 to 28, and said, I'm not doing anything anymore. I just leave the 16,000, just that, right? Let's say they were saving up 2,000 every year. Somebody, the friend, saying, hey, I'm going to start. Oh, okay, my boy got 16,000. Okay, let me start doing the same thing. So, my boy say, hey, he's not investing again. I'll start. That person put in 16,000, probably make about 1.8 or so, with an average rate of 10%. The friend started from 28 all the way to 67 or 65. They make about 1 point something. They still didn't catch the person. 16,000. Guess how much that person puts in? That person put in about 200 and something thousand, and still will not catch this. So for the investing thing, doing it early is so key. The time. We all know who this guy is. We all know, I believe we all know who Warren Buffett is. Warren Buffett is one of the greatest investors in our time. The dude started investing at the age of 10 years. And this dude still saving. The guy is about 96 and still in there. He's one of the richest guys, about the first, I think he's the fourth or fifth person, the richest person on planet. And this guy, because of time, look, when you look at his rates, he's averaging about 22%. That means the stock exchange has been averaging about 10. He's about 12% up, because he's so good. He knows how to pick companies and pick their stocks and do well. But this guy has been averaging about what? 22%. But guess what? He's not the greatest. He's not the greatest. There's this guy called Jim Simmons. He was averaging about between 37 to about almost 50%. 50. But the time different. This guy started at the age of 10 investing. Jim started around his 30s. And when you look at the difference, and this guy is still, like I said, because of time, this guy is still investing. And Jim averaging about 40%. It's not even close when it comes to the world. Jim's about 10 or so billion. This guy, Warren Buffett, is about 96 or 98 million. And guess what happens? Most of his wealth from the investing time, from let's say the 10 all the way to the time about 60 years, his worth was about 1.2 billion. The rest came after he retired. So technically, if this guy has stayed like all of us stayed, like, investing from maybe 20s and 30s all the way to 65, we wouldn't even have heard his name. But because of that time frame, his worth is about about 9 or so, 90 something, almost about 100 billion. So investing early is so key. What is that telling us? That means the best time to invest was yesterday. The best time to put money away for your future, for anything that you want to do, was yesterday. So what is the second best time? That means when you're hearing my voice, if you hear my voice now, do it now. What is the third best time? Today. That means when you hear it, you don't bypass it. If you have no knowledge about it, get in touch. I can help you do that. All right, let me put this on here. If you have no knowledge about this, get in touch. You don't want to be missing this. You don't want to be missing this. Get in touch. And most of us, our community, we have to stop saying, oh, I will retire in Ghana. Even if I get 10%, I get $1,000, I'll be fine. So I just have to stick with Social Security and all that. You know how much this money can help you if you retire? How many people this can help? You know what you can do with this if you have this? And even if you retire in Ghana, yeah, it's cool to still make about 100,000 a year on top of your Social Security. Please, if you hear this today, do not. You see, the cool thing about money is it never talks, it never gets tired. It's going to work for you. And when you're doing the process, I'm sure you is so excited because at this point, your money making you money is so exciting. Every money that you do, you see your money because it doesn't go away. And it's so exciting. That's why I was telling you, it gives you option, right? The margin from the budget gives you the option. The option gives you what? Freedom. So you get to do whatever you want. And the freedom gives you peace if you're taking control of your money. If you owe nobody any money, you have emergency fund of about 18,000, and now you're putting away 15%, at least 15% of your income, you will sleep like a baby. Whether the economy goes up, down, west, east, you do not care. It gives you peace. And what does peace gives you? It gives you joy. That's what I promised you earlier on. If you start doing this process, look, we've been lied to go through that process. I know someone is here saying, oh no, yeah, how can you do this? I've gone through all this and I'm still doing it. I'll show you how to even buy a house without a credit score. We've been lied to. Please do not do this. Don't stop taking all these debts. Don't do it. You are not in competition with anybody. Take your time and start going through process. Some of us, we went through this process in a hard way, but we've been able to get out and still getting out gradually. And it's so exciting. Hey, I don't care what happens. I don't owe anybody. If I have to do something, I don't have the money, I will sit. You see, we are in this notion of worrying about what people will say about our car. I'm using 2015 Toyota Camry. My friend sees me, it's like, oh, why are you using this car? I do not care at this point. So far as I'm winning with money, that's all I care. So far as I'm winning with money, that is all I care. I don't care. I can buy a car. At least I can buy a car and pay it off. Probably maybe 25,000 or so. I can't do that. I'm not going to buy 100,000. No, even if I have that money, I will not do that. But I can buy another car, 25, 30, and pay cash. That's fine. But at this point, I don't need that. Please do not go through that process. Take your time. Take your time, and you're going to make a lot of money, and you sleep like a baby. If you take all these loans, all these credit cards, buying stuff to people you don't like, they don't even like you anyway. Why are you, every time you're in trouble. Every time you're in trouble, financially, when you start talking about it, people like, oh, no, I make 250,000. No, you are broke. You have no money. You don't see the money. Yes, this has nothing to do with how much you make. You see, study shows that average millionaire, I think in 2012, there was a book that came out, I think it's Everyday Millionaire. That book, they interviewed millionaires from California to Alabama. They went through crisscross everywhere. They interviewed them. I mean, real millionaires, not the fake ones. Not trying to be the real millionaires. And it was stunning. All the things that we think millionaires do, and like they use big house, it was none of that at all. The real millionaire was like your neighbor. They don't live in big houses. They don't use new cars. And guess what? The stunning part is 63% of the real millionaires. I'm talking of real millionaires. I'm talking of net millionaires. I'm not talking of like net worth, including their house and everything is $1 million and above. Those people, 63% of them, they have never made six figures. That means they have never made combined income 100,000. They are below 100,000, and yet they were net millionaires. How did that happen? Same process I'm telling you. They use these steps. They are not in competition with anybody. They buy stuff, they don't pay what? No interest. Every interest comes to them. And they are not out there chasing what new things and all that. If you're really, really serious and you want to you want to get out of there and build wealth and build it, change your family tree, please walk along with me. And you have that peace I'm talking about and the joy. Because the moment you start doing the budget, it changes everything. It opens your eye. At this point, we are intense. Now, we're going to continue from the next time. The next time I'm going to tell you exactly what to put that money in to be able to get you this. So, like I said, if you are hearing this for the first time, you are 40, 50, 60, and you have no idea what to do, please get in touch. This is the information over there. Send me an email, call me, and we will start it today. Do not wait. The best time for your investment was yesterday. The second best time today, third today, fourth today. So that means when you hear it, don't let it pass. Do something about it. And don't be like, hey, I'll do it tomorrow, or I'm just going to depend on Social Security. This can change your family tree. It can change a lot of things in your life. So I'll come back with where we're going to put it until we meet again. Your boy Patrik Barfi, and make sure you spend wisely, save intentionally, and give. Before also, I have content in our local language and everything in my YouTube channel. We also got a class and everything coming in. We want to try to make sure so share this to all your friends and all that. Share it. And also, if you want more content, go to my YouTube. It's just Patrik Barfi. Same way you see my name here, same spelling. Patrik Barfi YouTube, or follow me on the same on Instagram, and the same on I think Instagram is Patrik _Barfi _Barfi, and Facebook is also the same, Patrik Barfi. Same thing. Follow me, and share it, spread it around. We are behind, so much behind. When you look at the wealth table and look at, the race and everything, we are way behind, because all we're thinking is, investing got to be so complicated before it's good. No, it's boring. It's just just putting money away and just, living your life. That's it. And all it does is it gets you there. But you have to take your hands off that money though, for it to grow and get that growth. Until we meet again, your boy Patrik Barfi.